know the need. The community-serving businesses are having trouble staying in this neighborhood because of the gentrification that's occurred. So we're helping them out with this loan fund. So in a year, we've done 25 loans for over $720,000.
Wow.
We're going to become a CDFI.
CDFI.
Yes, so that's going to be happening soon. So that's a community development fund.
Community.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Community
Development Fund.
Community fund, right? Development.
That is critical to actually surviving in the mission. Am I right?
It is. So if you look at Valencia Street today and how that's changed versus Mission Street, you'll see the Mission Street itself, the whole commercial corridor, is still very much a mix of businesses. There still are a number of community-serving businesses that serve the long-time Latino community and the working class families and everybody else, not just everything being high-end. So we're trying to help those businesses stay around, and as we give those loans, we also provide free coaching with a business coach to help you negotiate a lease, the best lease possible. Learn how to do all of these things. It's a very difficult process, so we can guide people through that process with free coaching.
Mr. Sosa, you want to tell people about your coaching? And I was reading, and I actually did my homework on you again. I went back to some old stuff, but bank teller training, which is a critical thing, making the transition into business and elevating yourself to a higher level of business. Am I right about that?
Yes, you're totally right about that. As a matter of fact, my colleague, Olivia Quiñones, runs that program now.
Quiñones.
Olivia Quiñones, she is the job coach. She has a lot of banking experience. And when I came to MEDA about 4.5 years ago, I realized that there was not a whole lot of sector training programs available for Latinos and young adults, primarily from the mission. And that's how I started the Workforce program back in the summer of 2013 with 3 programs. We started the Mission Techies, the Bilingual Bank Tele program, and a customer service program for DACA youth. And to this day, the 2 most successful programs are the Bilingual Bank Tele program that my colleague runs, Olivia Quiñones, and the Mission Techies program. So we are now positioned ourselves.
Talk about that, the Techies program a little bit, because I had, the last time you and I talked, we talked a lot in length about that. Tell us where it is today.
Sure. So the mission, to be honest with you, when we thought about this program, and the idea behind was to just to create a tech support program. That was just the idea behind that pilot program, just to bring some young adults into the tech industry that wanted to provide customer support and tech support services. Well, the program has grown since then. Now we have a mission statement, which is empowering low-income young adults to launch a career in the tech sector. And just by that simple sentence, we are able to create a pipeline for diversity in the tech sector. Because as of today, there's still a lot of tech companies in San Francisco. We're in the heart of the Silicon Valley. And every time I go to those tech companies for a corporate site visit with the Mission Techies, I only count with the fingers on my hand the African Americans and the Latinos working in there. So the Mission Techies program really allows young adults to prepare for that career in the tech sector. It's not easy, I can tell you that right now, but it's something that we continue to prove that we're able to not only provide the necessary training, the necessary coach, the methodology around the technology skills, and we've seen the impact of young adults that grew up in the Mission District, grew up in Bayview, Visitation Valley, Sunnydale, Tenderloin, Western Addition, now working in the tech industry. That to me is the impact of the program.
It makes your heart feel good, doesn't it?
It does make you feel good because I've seen the struggles of these young adults ages 17 to 24. I was there once, and I understand the challenge that they're facing. Not only the challenge from, living in a poverty area,
right,
not having the right education, not having the opportunities to pursue a career in college, the violence, the drugs, the alcohol. You can go on and talk about all the different challenges that young people face now. But I feel that even though those challenges are there and some of these young people have positioned themselves in front of those challenges, here's an opportunity for them to put that behind, put it aside and say, I have a talent. I'm really good with programming skills. I'm really good with technology skills. I can code. I can create a website. I can work with people. I'm bilingual. I speak 3 languages. And to me, that's kind of the idea behind the opportunity that's being presented to themselves. Some of these young adults don't have that opportunity in their underserved communities. They come to the mission. We're like right across the street from your studio.
Right.
And that place is popping every day from 1 to 5 with at least 20 young people that are hungry for technology skills. It doesn't matter what type of income level they have, what type of attitude they bring to the table, what type of personnel they have. But when they come together and we develop team building activities, project-based goals, they start really paying attention. Wow, I'm an asset. I can be someone eventually.
Well, you know what? One of the things that doing my research and going back and looking at our conversation we had a year ago, confidence, self-confidence is a big thing that is lacking and that you instill in a lot of these kids. With self-confidence, you can go anywhere. And that's the one thing that I want to commend you on, because when we were talking about things a year ago, I have been ever so often watching MEDA, and MEDA is moving and shaking like a leaf on a tree, so to speak, positively.
Yeah, and I have actually a clip from that show showing how effective the program was, what it meant to a certain graduate, and it was very touching to hear his testimony.
You didn't cry, did you?
Of course not.
Okay.
Done everything. He's been my savior. So, the brothers out there, anybody out there, they're struggling. I know it's out on the street. It's difficult out there. I just want them to know, there's other options. I know it's out there. It's fun out there, but it's only gonna lead two ways. And I'm telling you, I done been to prison. I done seen lifers who just wish they'll do anything they can just to get another chance.
And you know what? That is a tearjerker, really, because you listen to somebody who just ran. There's millions of young kids in the barrios, the ghettos, inner city America, wherever you want to put it at. There's millions of us out there. I started out in East LA. Living up in deep East LA when I was a kid. And you know what? The Mexicano community was under fire then and is still under fire today. And we're just moving and shaking, and positive thought and good attitudes. And we just mentioned about attitude. Sosa was talking about attitude. Attitude is very important. You want to go on with your spiel there?
It's very touching. First of all, the opportunity that I have, and I always look back at every young adult that walks into the door of the Mission Economic Development Agency. I see myself when they first walk into the door and say, I want to know about this training. They walk in with a flyer, or they heard it to their moms, or they heard it to some of the participants at the Mission Economic Development Agency. And the biggest thing that I always pay attention to is when they first show up, is their eyes. Like, they look at me like, here's an opportunity. Do you think I can be that person? And from day one, from the first second I get to speak to any young adult, I don't know what it is. It just gets them really excited to participate in the program. And San Francisco has this great opportunity right now. We're looking at a technology sector that has grown 57% in the last 3 years. By 2020, there's going to be an increase of job growth of about 52%. Those tech companies want young adults that are responsible, that are punctual, that have the ability to work in a team environment, and also have the technology skills that millennials come in with. Every young adult, every kid, every middle school, high school, elementary kid has this beautiful opportunity as they bring so much technology skills with themselves. They use technology, they adopt technology, they use technology to share their voice, to share a message, to communicate, and all these tech companies are beginning to pay attention to that. And to be honest with you, that's one area, but the other area is the soft skills. And that's something that we can continue to talk about, that for whatever reason, the model that we have implemented with the Mission Techies program allows these young adults that walk in the first day with their pants all the way to their knees, and during graduation, they don't have that anymore. They walk in with beanies. They leave that behind when they graduate. They just had a nasty attitude walking into the program, and when they graduate, they're able to communicate in a professional way. They're able to shake hands. They're able to dress up for a job interview. And the soft skills that we teach, it's all about business communication, professionalism, team building activities, leadership activities, and giving back to the community. And when you do those things and you implement the technology approach, it's a formula that I have seen for many years throughout my work across the country, across the city, and we're going to continue to do it because that's the formula that is working for these young talent to be hired by these tech companies. I encourage tech companies to pay attention to that local talent. You don't need to hire from other countries. The talent is right here. You grow up in Miss Valley and Sunnydale.
Let me tell you something. You just hit the nerve and the bone. Let's say that, okay? You know, when you hit the bone, it don't do anything. You hit that damn nerve, it does a lot. One of the things that you're saying is you have to present and represent yourself. Nobody else can do it. Am I right?
Yes.
I can echo Leah's statements. I'm amazed to see from the first day one, to that graduation, the change in demeanor, the way people hold themselves, carry themselves when they walk into the building. And it's just a great thing to see. And it just seemed like somebody needed to finally say, you can do this. And that's what Leo does.
You know, again, you guys, the confidence, that is the element. There is an element that I learned about through a counterintelligence program, a counterinsurgency program, way back in the 70s. And it's called psychological aggression. It's in our inner cities and it breeds because we don't have what other people have. We don't have the schools, we don't have the presentation, and MEDA, it makes the difference. MEDA, that is the one element that the government and everybody definitely does not discuss because it's building prisons and it's supporting prisons and the ancillary stuff for incarceration. It's a big billion-dollar business. So now when you're talking about psychological aggression, and I talk about it all the time, you're talking about two people who can how shall I say this, exercise that and who we are and what we are. Aggression is the one thing that is destroying us. Am I right about that?
I think that you kind of summarized the conversation that we've been having with a lot of the young people that walk into the door. It's interesting that not only I have to pay attention to the work that I do with them because each Mission Techie, it's an individual that brings so many challenges. And I can go on and on about the different challenges that these young people face walking into the door.
Sure.
And I have to develop this kind of like remediation plan with each one of them to make sure that I need to understand what their needs are, what their challenges are, their strengths, their weaknesses, the ability to understand that this program is going to take you to that point. Because we don't turn nobody away. I had foster kids, I had homeless kids, Jordan,
really?
Perfect example, incarcerated young men. We don't turn nobody away, Charles. We don't turn nobody away. We're one of the only programs in the city that does not turn any young adult away because of your race, ethnicity, income level, or any challenge that you're facing. All I want you to come and try it out. If you try it out...
Wait a minute, let's back up. let's do a screeching halt here. Say that one more time, just like you just said it.
We don't turn nobody away.
Nobody.
Nobody. As long as your age is 17 to 24 and you're excited and interested about technology, I want you to come down to be a Mission Techie. Let me do the rest. Let the program do the rest. Let the model do the rest for you.
You know, that's a broad statement. That's saying a whole lot. You know that. You understand that, don't you?
I know that. I've been doing this work for
I think you damn well do. I think you damn well know that what you're saying is that you're going to build one person to another person and help that person elevate themselves. That's hard.
I'm going to give you simple stats.
Okay.
As of today, we have completed 11 12-week sessions since we launched in January 2014.
Okay.
We are currently right now in the 12th cohort of the Mission Techies program with 22 young adults coming every day from 1 to 5.
Wow.
4 African Americans, excuse me, 4 African Americans, 2 girls, and 2 guys. The rest are Latinos. We have a nation, and these young people are coming in right now to learn technology skills. We're on the 6th week of the program. 6 more weeks, they graduate. 3 months from now, some of them will be working in a tech job. Some of them will be going to career pathways in technology. Some of them will probably go to Europe, just like Jordan, Tech SF, City College, any other program like Cisco, ITT, DeVry, because for whatever reason, we create a pathway for them. So this cohort is about halfway to the program. Since we started 132 enrollments, 132 young adults have come to this program. 105 have graduated from the program. 42 have continued careers in tech. Any type of training out there that focuses in technology. From a boot camp to going to CNIT at City College to computer science degree at San Francisco State. And 50 of those 105 are working in tech jobs right now.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. I was reading something, and read the Wall Street Journal sometime. It's biased in some ways, you know, but it has a lot of good meat stuff in it, okay? Big companies are becoming afraid of the world tension right now. They are. They're realizing that they have just as many good people here as they have overseas. So they're looking at the thing that China is moving and shaking, and the world financial stage right now is changing dramatically. It's not as secure as it was 5 to 6 years ago. Security is going away. So therefore, if you're in the mission, you can go into one of these jobs, and you can just about assure yourself that MEDA is going to find you something that gets your interest where you can catapult yourself. Is that a good statement?
I think that's a good statement. I think that one of the things that I've been able to learn throughout my work experience here in this country is that there are certain levels of experience that you need to accomplish. And a lot of the young adults that we work with are barely finishing high school,
right,
barely just got their GED from like a charter school. They're really not paying attention to a career in college, and I'm not encouraged for young adults not to pursue college because I want them to pursue that. But when you look at really what San Francisco is doing and how we're shaping the workforce model, is that we're able to create some type of level that allows these young adults to jump on that stepping stone and be able to gain some experience and some skills by the time they get to like the big job, the dream job. And a lot of the young adults that we work with, primarily from underserved communities, believe that the fastest way to make money is going to take you there. And they might not have the patience to say, wow, I need to be in a program that will take me
patience.
6 months.
There that word is again.
Yep.
There that word is
9
again.
months,
9
3
months.
months, whatever months it is.
Yeah.
You need to potentially set yourself that type of mentality. And even for our program, the first day that we have an orientation, we get a lot of young people. We typically bring about 30. Mr. Hill has seen the room pack of young people during the first day, which is the orientation. During the orientation, if you're not in by the time I tell you, the door is closed.
Discipline.
Pretty much.
Punctuality.
I have heard millions of stories about why you were late. Trust me, I've been there. I've done it. But I told you, when you applied to this program, when you came to fill the application, and you wanted to do this, and you wanted to learn code skills, I needed you here about 1 o'clock. 1:05. The door is closed. So right there, I lost probably about 3 or 4.
Okay.
Which I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because that's an opportunity that was given to them. There'll be a second chance. But right now, it's right now. So during the orientation, we try to emphasize that opportunity. And we tell them, go home, talk to your family, talk to your loved ones, talk to your girlfriend, talk to your husband and wife, mom and dad, grandpa, and let them know about for the next 3 months, you need their support.
Right.
You need their support to make it happen, to come to the program every day, to jump on the bus, to have your clothes ready, to maybe have a sandwich on a brown bag ready to go. You need that love and support for the next 3 months. And I've seen it when the mission techies graduate from the program. The parents are there, the family are there, husbands are there, even some of the single moms that have graduated from the program, their kids at that graduation. And when you see that, you see the effort, the sacrifice, and the tears they made to be part of the program. Can you imagine? They can do that in any job. They got it. They know how to be responsible. They know how to take care of themselves. And they're going to make it out there. And I believe a lot of programs in San Francisco don't emphasize that. And I'll give you one of the biggest weakness right now with our school district. We don't teach workforce development skills at the high school level.
That's gone. That's been gone for the last 15, 20 years. And the administrators of today feel that it's archaic, it's antiquated, it doesn't develop anybody, but everybody's not college bound.
And to be honest with you, when I bring high school youth to the summer program, I see the change. I can share a very simple story of a young girl named Yaritza Perez who came from Lowell High School. Lowell High School is one of the best high schools in San Francisco. She came into the summer 2014 cohort and she was so excited when we went to Facebook. When we went to Facebook, Yaritza said, "Man, I want to work here." And I said, "All right.
There you go.
Let's get you there, right?" So she said, "What do I need to do?" I said, "Well, you need to learn coding skills." Yaritza, her parents are immigrants. She lives in the Mission. She came to the program, graduated from the program. She went to computer science degree at San Francisco State. And then recently this year, she was accepted into a DEB boot camp in San Francisco. The tuition is $14,000, Charles.
Wow.
To go to a boot camp.
Wow.
So remember how we talk about living in an underserved community, growing up in the hood,
Right.
not having money to even like eat or anything?
Right.
And now you gotta pay $15,000 to go to boot camp so you can learn coding skills to get a job at Facebook? That's huge. That's a big challenge.
That's a big challenge.
So what do? We helped her.
Wow.
We raised the money.
Wow.
And Yaritza's right now at the boot camp, getting her dream accomplished.
Well, you know what? I was in Vietnam back in 1963, 64, and on the side of a temple, and it was somebody scribbled in English. It said, "There are those of us who live the challenge life, and then there are those of us who live and let life challenge us." And it says, "I am a challenger," and it says Selah, which is prayer. You know, I think that was the most profound thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
And by just adding to that statement, Charles, I see the challenge as an opportunity. The Mission Techies program has not been very easy since we started. It's really hard to go to tech companies and say, "Hey, I need you to hire this young adult. They grew up in Beast Valley, Sunnydale, Tenderloin, Harness Point,
Yeah.
but they know how to code. They're programmers."
Sure.
And they're like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know that." I say, "Yeah, let me show you what they can do." And right now, we are working with very important tech companies, developing a very powerful curriculum for our Mission Techies program.
Well, they needed an infusion. And you know what? We've been sitting here running our mouth. 2301 Mission, number 301. Phone number 415-282-3334. That's it. I mean, this is your life out there. And these two guys, give me an idea of what you guys are going to go through in the next 6 months as far as recruiting is concerned. I'm going to put that one on you.
Oh, we always do outreach. You know, it's actually interesting. We did a focus group one time with the Mission Techies, and it was amazing how many said that they heard about the program from their mother, from their aunt.
Really?
So people coming to MEDA as clients for other services would see a flyer or hear something about the program, see the Digital Opportunity Center and see Leo in there and go and talk to him. And it's like, my kid's home sitting on the couch, she doesn't know what to do, she doesn't know what to do. They're out of high school, they seem to be driftless. But, you know, and we know if you don't catch a 17 to 24-year-old in that time period, they're going to be lost.
That's a big statement.
It's just reality. We
17
see
to
that.
24, huh?
17 to 24 to be in the program, and what happens after that? If that's gone, right? So we're presenting that opportunity for that time. So we want to give that to people. And when you talk about the building of the confidence, yeah, we help build that confidence. And what Leo said about, okay, you're late, that's a problem, making people accountable, is they learn to take ownership of their life, of their being in this program themselves. That's what gains that confidence day by day exponentially. And over time, the bonding of the techies themselves, because they empathize, they come from similar situations, they're from habitually under-resourced communities, they build each other up. And that's really cool to see too. It's
punctuality and dignity and respect are three of the things that are very important in business. That's success. That's what success breeds. Am I right?
And in life, and it seems like small things, but it's not.
Yeah.
People need to keep that front of mind.
Punctuality.
We make sure they keep it front of mind.
You guys, discipline, you instill discipline too, don't you?
It's the soft skills. It's very important. You have to know how to soft skills. How do you maneuver within any work environment, wherever you are, whatever kind of job you're doing. You have to be a good team player. You have to be accountable for your work. You have to, just be there to help other people out. So even in the program, people see the techies start to help each other when they're having a little bit of a problem, taking apart that computer and putting it back together. And that's what's great to see.
Guys, I'm gonna put something on you, both of you. I'm gonna put it on you really hard.
It's not the first time. Go ahead.
I know it.
Bring it.
I want you guys to tell people, talk about punctuality, being on time, and representing yourself, and learning how to speak eloquently, and learning how to communicate eye to eye, because eye contact is very important. Could you guys talk about that? Because the majority of the kids I see, they do this. They're looking at the sky, they're looking at their shoes. And the other thing I want you guys to find me is I want you to find me somebody who can make me a banner, because I'm going to change my whole scope of my whole program talking to the two of you. I am going to do this. I want you guys to help me find somebody who can make me a banner, who can create a banner that I have in my mind, and it's going to project exactly what you're saying. I need you to do that quick.
All right, Mr. Hill, that's your arena. My job is to train young adults to become the next technology leaders. So
we're gonna put this exactly what the three of us are talking about today. We're gonna put our money where the mouth is. Is that the way I say that? Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. You know.
Think of it this way. What if you had us coming here today? You had us scheduled for a certain time. What if we were late? What would you have done? Sitting here waiting for us. You're alive on the air.
Well, I'm ex-military. I'm ex-military. I believe in being there half hour, 45 minutes before time.
Exactly. That's
Even
what
if you gotta wait outside.
So I guess we can relate to that, because that's the environment that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Now you kind of get to see why I implement punctuality in everything I do.
Yeah.
Time management skills,
Time
very
management.
important.
Most
Giving
people don't know what that is.
Giving feedback.
Yeah.
Learning how to potentially deal with conflict. What I'm sharing some of the competencies that we teach. We also teach how to become a team player.
Yeah. Constructive criticism too. I hear that in your voice.
Yes. There's a lot. We typically yeah, it's interesting that a lot of the young adults that we work with, even there's a statement that I shared with Mr. Hill about a mission techie applying for a job, and he left on his job duty a very simple sentence, and he said, learn soft skills that are not being taught in college.
Really?
Really. I can pull out the resume and show it to you before I leave.
Not high school, college.
This is college. He's a graduate from UC Davis who said that on his resume, and he graduated from the program. And big shout out to Jacqueline Marcellos, if anybody at MEDA is listening, because Leova Marcellos, it's her son, and he came to the Mission Techies program. And I remember this young man, he's working right now as a community outreach organizer. And on his resume, he mentioned that he talked about it all the time. He said, in the last 6 weeks, I have learned so many soft skills that were not being offered at the college level. And that was a shocker. And I'm not trying to say that the Mission Techies program is the best program out there, because there are plenty of programs. There's the URUB, there's TECASEV, there's BayBack, BayCat, HOMI, and Mission Graduates, all these wonderful programs across the city that focus on one area. But for whatever reason, the formula, the development of the curriculum that I have developed allows these young people to look back and say, wow, this is what I learned in the last 12 weeks. And I didn't even know I could do this. I didn't know I can potentially code on HTML, CSS, Java, and JavaScript. I also learned how to use Python and Ruby. And we're like, yeah, of course you can. That's what you're here for. That's the talent you have.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. I see these kids on the street corners with computers every day. Not doing the best of what they're supposed to be doing, but they're knowledgeable of how to get around the internet and around the computer and around the computer language.
And that's just around the internet, Charles. I think it's all about understanding the front end and the back end of how things work, right? We teach web development skills. We teach back end development skills. We teach hardware skills. We teach software skills, networking skills. We also teach Salesforce. We also teach coding. Away from that, we teach business communication, like I say, professionalism, job preparation. We have a mentorship program where tech companies offer technology mentors to work, to coach you after you graduate from the Mission Techies program.
Okay, guys out there on the corner, what are you waiting on now? I mean, what? Seriously, I'm talking to people out there standing on the corner right now. What are you waiting for? This is the anchor in your back pocket, so to speak, that's going to stop you from doing something stupid.
And the program is free, and on top of that, we give you a $500 stipend. I'm not trying to pitch the stipend, but the reason why we give the stipend is because we teach a financial capability curriculum. Now you're going to get to see more about the whole asset building model that MEDA implements. So when a young adult walks into the door, they probably don't have a credit score. They don't know what a credit is.
Right.
They probably have certain money. They probably buy chips and a soda at the liquor store, which is all right by me. I don't have a problem with that. But when they start teaching financial capability, I start really getting into their skin. Like, do you know how much money you're spending on your chips and your soda on a daily basis when you go to Mickey D's? Here's an opportunity for you to spend that money on something else. So the stipend that we offer to the Mission Techies allows us to teach what we call the DISC outcomes. There are 4 letters on that acronym. DISC. Debt, income, savings, and credit. Very important financial capability mentality that young people need to have or need to grasp. So we teach them about not to fall into debt. We teach them how to save money. With the $500 stipend that we're giving them, we can use that towards a savings account. They need to build their credit. We can help them secure a credit card with Self-Help, the program down here from the block. We help them obtain a secure credit card. And then we start working with them. We start helping them understand how to create a budget. One day, this guy's going to make $70,000 a year.
Sure.
What are they going to do with those $70,000 a year, Charles? You know what they're going to do.
Sure.
I know.
They're going to blow it. People think, don't think they have to save any money. That's the big thing. That's the big thing.
So we encourage young people to pay attention to that. And also, let's talk about another factor. Living in San Francisco, Charles.
Hard.
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 Hard. I'm living it. Trust me.
And harder.
With my family, and it's hard.
Yeah.
But
that's not just Pacific Heights. That's the southeast quadrant of the city too.
Yep. That's even in Visitation Valley right now, where I live and I grew up.
I heard that a lady is renting a house for $3,800 a month, a 3-bedroom in Visitation
Probably
Valley.
a week.
Yeah.
$3,800 a month.
Yes,
for a
Charles.
3-bedroom, a small 3-bedroom row house.
You planning to move in there?
Pardon me? I'm a poor man, guys.
Listen, when I came to this country back in 1985, I used to pay for a room $150. Of course, it's not 1985. So imagine another challenge that the young people are facing now, right?
Yeah.
Which is, can I stay in San Francisco? Can I work for a tech company? Can I work at a startup? Can I still find a way to stay within my community, my neighborhood? Of course you can. That's really what the financial capability model is all about. Making sure that you start paying attention to save your money, to find ways to potentially understand you don't want to fall within that hole. that's another thing with it.
I'm going to tell you about your $100 and some a month. I ran into a very sad situation over in the Fruitvale district during the La Posadas last year, where two families were living in a garage at $300. They were splitting a garage at $300 a piece. A garage. So they had to put floor in it. They didn't have a bathroom, you know. They had a shower on each side, but the person was getting $300 for a garage. And it's only, what, 12 by 20, 12 by 24, something like that. So they're paying $300 for 6 feet of space, a couple of hundred square feet. And you know what, I would insist at the person, and I told the person, you know, I said, you know what, that's damn right, outright crazy.
We see a lot of doubling up in places. I've gone with reporters to people's homes and invited to their homes to do a story, and there's 5 people living in one small room.
Yeah.
We see tech workers actually living in single-room occupancy hotels.
Right.
In the Mission, in SROs. Yeah. Because some of those elite tech guys, they don't care. They just want a shower and you know, place to sleep for the night. They're out all the time. But that's how hard it's become. Right, so we do weave that financial coaching into everything we do, because we can help you get a job, we can help you start a business, we can get you into these young adult programs, but if you can't handle your money,
right,
what's it really worth? Right, you're going to have a problem down the road.
So the income level, you guys are raising income levels and raising confidence and raising dignity and all the positive things that people need to survive, which are going to become critical. And with this new election coming up, where they want to cut every program going, you know, the Republican Party, they have cut on their mind. You know, we're going to be in a world of stuff here in a little bit. Am I right?
Well, from my perspective, I feel that, again, like I told you, it's an opportunity for me, for the Mission Techies program.
It's an opportunity for everybody who needs to get through your program. And you know what, we put your program on shout out here for 6 months. If you remember last year, we said something about MEDA every month, you know, and I was hoping that it would help you guys. And it really made me feel good.
Yeah, we appreciate you getting the word out there.
Yeah.
People should know about this program. It's very powerful. It's an opportunity.
And here we are right here in the Mission. And you know who somebody I run into all the time is Ed Lee, Mayor Ed Lee. And City Hall knows about MEDA. They know very well about MEDA. You guys very well entrenched, I will say. And I'm going to say everything I've heard is good, and I like that.
Well, we appreciate that. We have 7,000 clients a year now. So there's a definite need that we're filling. And for me, with the work, I tell the stories of the clients. That's part of my job. And it's been a real honor to be able to do that, to see the impact of the work. And I'm especially fond of telling the stories of the Mission Techies.
Right. You know, one of the things I did, I was researching, I saw 72,000 people have been through MEDA. Is that a good figure?
Well, it's about 7,000 clients a year. We've been around 43 years.
72,000 people have been through your program, been through your door. That's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
And I thank you guys for coming. You know, and I just really, I really love this whole thing. And Gina is giving me the signal now.
Thank you for having us, Charles.
Yes, we really appreciate the invite.
And Gina as well.
Yeah, you guys are super. Right across the way, so to speak, from us.
Just come on down and meet the Mission Techies.
You got it.
Well, you got an hour to go. We just want to take a little break.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. And we're back right here with the two icons from MEDA. You want to tell Mr. Sosa, you want to tell where everybody is, put your numbers out there, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, you, the person that we're going to come back to you. We want a kind of a quick expose of where you came from, how you came to MEDA, and how your vision was formed. What do you see in MEDA, and how do you aspire to be somebody to make somebody big in business, so to speak. How are you going to build these people?
You want my story, huh?
I sure do.
All right.
We got his before, but we want yours.
Well, I came to MEDA 2.5 years ago. I've been working in corporate my whole life.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
It's not all that bad. I actually worked with travel.
You know the ins and outs of everything is what I'm saying.
I did a lot.
You know the top and bottom. Am I right?
I think it's good to bring that perspective to a nonprofit.
It is.
Actually. And what really happened, honestly, was, so I was raised in a family, and when I was very young, my dad was a lawyer, and we had a lot of money. We had a big house, and it all fell apart. My dad was drinking. My mom wound up raising 3 boys by herself in New York City, back in Brooklyn, when New York wasn't that nice.
Yeah, I hear you.
So she had a tough haul, but she just did what she needed to do every day. Never complained. She always, but she couldn't be the mother she wanted to be. She didn't have the time to be, but she always made me know I could do whatever I needed to do in life. She did instill that in me. So when I went and made my life, and then I worked in corporate for years, and when my mom eventually, she got in the phone company, we were out of college by then, but she did okay. She made us some lost time. So when she was retiring, I threw her a retirement party, and I said, "What do you want to do with the rest of your life?" And she said, "It's time I gave back." And I thought, whoever gave you anything, right? And that's what she's done. Completely. When she retired, she every day is volunteering to do something, helping people, whether that's availing HIV clients the services they can get, whether that's feeding the homeless, whatever. Every day she does something. So when I was working at the last company I was at, and I've kind of taken it where it could go, I was thinking what I wanted to do next. And why should I wait to do that kind of stuff till I retire? Maybe I can combine it with my work. And that's when I saw an ad for MEDA, and I saw what they were doing, and I knew of issues starting to happen in the mission, and I thought this could be a really good fit for me. And I saw that they hadn't been doing the work that I do, which is telling the stories of the work, letting people see. It's called content marketing, not that means anything to anybody else, but basically you're putting out the word about the work you're doing so that other potential clients can see what you can do for them, and also to bring stakeholders into the fold to help with that work. And so that's what brought me to MEDA, and that's what drives me every day. I come to the mission and I hear another story, whether it's Leo's program with a mission techie, whether it's someone we helped get into a BMR rental after they've been LSAC evicted, whatever it may be. And that really is a privilege for me, honestly, that I've been able to combine what I was doing before with helping people and not having to wait until I was 65.
So how old are you now?
I'm 54.
I'm younger than you are. I'm still 39. I want to ask you guys about Glassdoor. Comment. It says Mission Development Agency, Glassdoor. I want to know what happens when a person walks into the door. I want to know what's said. An expose, not a whole conversation. And I want to know how people look when they graduate. And I want to know how people come back and support you after they become successful. I want synopsises from both of you on that one. Did you get it?
Yep. From my end, it's a very simple process. Young man walks into the door, typically holding a flyer about the Mission Techies program. Try to figure out what's going on. I come in, introduce myself, say, it seems that you have something in your hand. Yeah, I got a flyer from so-and-so. So,
Probably the mother.
Probably the mother, or a referral, program, or another relative that say, hey, you gotta go do this. And just ask them a simple question. Do you like technology? Yeah. Okay. What do you like about technology? And then they start just, whatever that simple question is, it just triggers them off. Oh, I do a little bit of coding. Oh, okay. I took a computer apart back in high school. Okay, that's awesome. I use the internet. I use, you know, Instagram, or Snapchat. Okay, that's awesome. Have you ever thought about building something? And then they just pause for a couple of minutes. Like, have you thought about the back end of that mobile application that you're using on your cell phone right now? They're like, no. I said, well, let me teach you how to do that. Let me give you the skills that you need to potentially develop something like that. And they're like, okay, because technology, for whatever reason, becomes their passion. And a lot of people don't realize that technology programs are here to stay. They're not going away. The funding for technology programs is not going to go away because there is a labor market that shows the potential how many jobs are going to be created, from tech support to coding to quality assurance to database development. Even internationally, there's a lot of jobs when it comes down to technology skills. So typically I try to just get them excited and say, all right, I want you to come back and fill in an application. They come back, they bring all the required documents, their ID, social security card, proof of income, fill the application, and then I get them into the orientation. After the orientation, they'll learn about all the different programs that we offer at MEDA. They also receive a 2-hour financial capability assessment during that time, and then they become eligible to come to the program. So they start. And remember I told you about being punctual?
Punctuality again.
That gets reinforced throughout the first time, when you email me, when you come in for the application, during the orientation, even the first day of the program. I need you to be here 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the clock starts.
That's critical.
It is critical. So then throughout the program, we kind of have shared a little bit about what we do, 12 weeks, every day, Monday to Friday from 1 to 5. Away from that, external activities, which I don't call homework. I just call it activities for you to continue to learn your skills. A lot of reading, a lot of researching, and they graduate. And when they come to the graduation, some of them are wearing suits, some of them are wearing ties, the beanies are gone, the saggy pants are gone, and they're excited to take the next step. And what is that next step? To pursue a career in tech, to get a job in the tech industry. And that doesn't stop them there. The clock doesn't end right there. We have a retention program that allows Mission Techie alumni to come back and teach the other cohorts.
Really?
Yes, we do.
And how is it working?
It's working really well. We had, this year alone, we had 6 young adults that came in to teach coding skills to current cohorts this year alone.
Really?
So imagine this wonderful opportunity that away from the skills that you learn throughout the Mission Techies program, the punctuality, the soft skills, the technology skills, now you're going to give back. Because you see yourself sitting in that same chair that you see that young man, young girl right now struggling with the coding language, learning about taking the stuff apart. Let me help you. Let me show you the road. This is how I did it. And we have right now a group of alumni Mission Techies. I'm going to just blast it out. It's called Hack Time. Every Thursday night, we have software engineers from tech companies like Uber, Google, Facebook, Yahoo, that come and work with these alumni to continue to pursue larger coding skills. And what they learn, they bring it back to the classroom. So imagine the empowerment that we give now an alumni Mission Techie to come back and say, I was sitting in the same chair you were 6 months ago, a year ago. And I'm going to show you what I did back then to get you where I am today.
Wow.
There's no other way I can explain it to you. So they stay engaged. Even though they graduate from the Mission Techies program, they come back. Mr. Hill sees them all the time. I bring them upstairs. I bring them to say hello to our executive director. Because I want them to potentially see that these young people still need follow-up services. They still need to continue to engage themselves in this opportunity. Because now they're facing bigger challenges. They're out of job.
Enormous challenges now. You know, and life is becoming even more competitive in the Bay Area.
Exactly.
You know.
So that's the reason why we try to develop a retention program, an alumni retention program that brings back alumni from different cohorts to work together. And this year we have seen that. We have a group of young adults, Jorge Ortiz, Yaritza Perez, Christian Salas, Oscar Chan, Kirby Villalobos, William Lopez, who come together every Thursday night from 5 to 8 at MEDA, and they just get together to talk about coding projects. And then the current mission techies are looking at those guys and they're like, who are those guys? They're like, oh, they're alumni mission techies. What, they're here? Yeah. You want to be part of that? Yeah, how do I get into that list? All right. Finish mission techies. We'll talk about it later.
Mr. Hill?
I want to add to that the social enterprise model, which is woven in. So after these young adult participants are learning how to take apart computers and fix them, we have low-income residents from the neighborhood actually bring their computers and get them fixed by the mission techies.
Really?
That's part of your confidence building right there.
Wow.
It's a very important piece. And that while they're doing that, obviously they're learning those skills, but they're also learning how to create a job tag, close out that job tag, all those other kind of skills we were speaking of before. So
wow.
That's a big piece. I also wanted to add to Leo's synopsis of somebody coming to the program. I often see they'll come in and they're not really sure. You know, they've heard about this tech boom, but they don't necessarily see it, that they can be part of it. They don't see people who look like themselves. They might see the Google bus going down the street. Yeah, they see all this stuff going on, but they don't really see how they can be a part of that. So that's where they come in kind of meekly, right? Not really sure what this is all about, but they saw that flyer and it sounds kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
And what I encourage people to do is to call this man right here, Leo Sosa, because he will walk you through it. He's like a football coach. Think of him that way. He's tough on these kids, but he tells them what's expected, but he also inspires them to do their best.
Life is even tougher on them.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And so I told my story before. I think Leo should tell his story because the reason he can inspire these kids is because of his empathy for these kids. So I think you should ask him how he came into this world of computer technology.
That's a good idea.
It's interesting because when I came to this country back in 1985, I grew up in a very military environment. My father was a general. My brother was a Green Beret. In my country, they call them Caibiles. My other brother was a captain. So my dad wanted me to be in the Air Force or the Army or Navy. I said no. I ran away from home when that happened. I think a lot of people don't know this, but it was a very hard day for me to walk away from what I knew, and because I didn't want to be in that environment. But I grew up in that environment, so I kind of see the good and the bad.
So where was that?
That was in my country, Guatemala.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I came here when I was 15 years old. The reason why we came here is because of political asylum. And it was really hard for me to just leave home and start my journey on my own. Didn't have a place, no food, no job. I was barely in high school, Woodrow Wilson High School back in the days. And throughout that journey, I learned that it was going to be hard and tough. But for whatever reason, the values that my family gave me and the punctuality, the discipline, it played a huge role during those years. And decided to continue my education. Was working full-time at that time, going to high school. I used to work in Palo Alto, and I have a scar on my hand that shows when I cut myself doing some work in the factory. And just finished my high school and decided to go to college. Well, didn't have the money to go to college. So I was like, okay, well, let me start working. And I started working, doing a lot of jobs. Finally got an opportunity. Back in the days, there was a lot of money for grocery clerks, Safeway, Local 648 Union. And I got injured, and the union sent me to school. Everything paid for. And that was something really exciting to see back in the 90s, where all these local unions will take care of education needs. And I was able to go to school, went to San Francisco City College, got my degree in computers, and just decided to pursue that opportunity to help other immigrants learn computer skills. And that's how I started my career in the tech industry. And the funny thing about it is that back in the 90s, I wanted to work for Oracle. I wanted to be a database engineer. And, excuse me, I had the degree, I had the education, I had the skills, I had the talent. I didn't get the job. And that was my dream job, to become a database engineer for Oracle. It was really booming back in the 90s. A friend of mine got a job making $100,000 a year back in the 90s as a database warehouse engineer. I didn't get the job, so decided, well, what do I do now? Started paying attention to young people. And back in 1995, I launched a program called YouthNet, which is still here in the Mission District at Mission Language and Vocational School. It was just a little get-together, a bunch of kids coming to play with computers. And I felt like, oh, that's kind of cool. Young people playing with Apple Macs LC1s back then, just playing around with Mad Blaster and Oregon Trail and those type of games. But I saw that they were really excited. So I was like, wow, that's kind of cool that young people are really into tech. And I realized all the years that I didn't pay attention to technology skills going to high school and going to college. So I said, you know what, maybe it's an idea for me to start helping young people achieve technology skills. Since then, I have mentored more than 3,000 young people across the country. Before I came to MEDA, I launched a national program called Digital Connectors. You can